Hello, everyone, and welcome to another random bits and pieces segment from my brain. And today, still a while, for we are playing some more Franchise Hockey Manager 7 with my Tampa Bay Lightning disaster, or I should say, the historical challenge I'm doing. Alright, so it feels like it's the first time in a very, very, very long time that I am actually recording just a regular plain old video of Franchise Hockey Manager without too much BS of, having to sign players I don't want to sign, trying to avoid bugs along the way and stuff like that. So that's gonna be fun. Just a plain old video. So yeah, the last episode was a little bit hectic and everything. I was a little bit annoyed, I guess, at certain things. And mostly I'm annoyed that I am not doing better with my Tampa Bay Lightning. But we had a discussion with, or I had, no, we, no, I had a discussion with Cheesehead on my channel in the comments, and it was I was made aware, or it was, you know, made clear that apparently, and it was a real shock to me, I am not perfect. Me. Can you imagine that? I mean, me. That's me we're talking about. And I'm not perfect? Seriously? Oh my. It hurt to fall from that eye. Now, obviously, those that have been following me around for a little bit, hopefully you know my personality enough to know that, I'm just joking. But yeah, it's been pretty tough. I really didn't see I was expecting maybe to still struggle a little bit. I wasn't expecting that big dip in the standings and everything. Of course, losing Bradley didn't help, but even then, Bradley lost a lot of ability and everything, and he wasn't exactly playing up to the standards that I had set for him. And Steve Richin pretty much did a piss poor job at replacing him. So basically I'm needing a center or 12 and we're struggling. I still like my D. I don't okay, we allow a lot of shots, but as far as the players that are actually playing D for my team, I kind of like it. So I don't know what it is. I already got rid of John Muckler as my coach. I got somebody else, and we still have problems. So at that point, it's everybody else's fault but mine. Obviously, I mean, it cannot be me. Nah, it probably is a GM, but I can't get fired. This is a historical challenge. But anyway, so that was a very long introduction. I guess I was feeling a little I guess I was feeling a little bit playful or whatever. So it looks like we're going to be starting March here on the road. So we're going to have the Canadian Western trip, and then we're going to have a stop in Colorado as well before we stop back home. This is March, and the trade deadline is on the 24th. So keep in mind, I'm trying to trade some players that I am not going to be bringing back. For now, I'm going to let things go as they are, see if I get offers, and try to go from there. But as we get closer to the trading deadline, I will pause this video for two reasons. First, I'm going to try to find trades that work for me, and I am not going to do that for 45 minutes on screen. And two, we have food coming on the way, so it's going to be a good stopping point to stop the video at that point and do that at the same time. So, without me going on and on and on and on and on anymore, we are going to go ahead and get moving. All right, so we are going to start this month of March here in Calgary. Benoit Hugg's streak ended at 8 games, so Benoit Hugg is still playing for the Islanders here. He got a goal, too, but no assist for him. So that got stopped against the Bruins. Oh, Steve Sullivan, that we traded to Buffalo as part of the Alexander Mogilny trade, is going to be out for 6 months with a broken bone in his elbow that happened against the Washington Capitals. So season over for Steve Sullivan. Art Williams is unhappy. Okay, wait, what? Despite the good current performance of the team, in general, Art Williams is unhappy about your work as general manager of the Lightning. You have to continue the good work of this season. Wait, have you watched the season? Wow, okay. I guess maybe I did a really good job at firing Muckler, maybe. Maybe I handled that like a champ. I don't know. I don't know what they're talking about. Oh, Red Wings. Ray Shepard is hurt for 4 weeks. That happened against Phoenix. Teemu Selanne extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal and an assist against Detroit in that same game. Jaromir Jagr had a good game. He had a goal and 4 assists against Toronto. That's indeed pretty good. And Francis also had a good game with 4 assists in that same one. And in that same game, Mario Lemieux got his goal streak up to 6 games with 2 goals and 2 assists. Wow, the Leafs got shellacked 8-2. Alright, so all of those guys are starting to feel better about being on the team. Alrighty, so we are in Calgary about to play the Flames. Flames are also struggling. They are 21, 30, and 8. And we are 0-1 against Calgary this season. We lost 2-1 at home against Calgary earlier this season. So let's see what we can do now. So we're going to go with Nikolai Abibulin in net. They are going to go with Mike Vernon. Go Lightning, go. I think I've been forgetting to say that. Maybe that's why we've been losing. There you go. That was it. 5-1 victory. It's all in the little details. Alright, so a 5-1 win here in Calgary to start the month. That's pretty good. We did get outshot 39-31, sorry. Alexander McGillney was the first star of the game. He had 2 goals and an assist. Nikolai Abibulin was the second star with 38 saves. And Teppo Numminen was the third star with 2 assists. Alright, so Ryan Smith got us going in the first period from Mark Bergevin and Teppo Numminen. And then Calgary tied the game. So it was tied at 1 after 1. Then in the second period, Robert Zvela scored from Alexander McGillney and Mikael Anderson. And then Alexander McGillney scored on the power play from Robert Zvela. It was 3-1 Tampa Bay after 2. Then in the third period, Mark Bergevin scored from Teppo Numminen. And then Alexander McGillney scored from Sean Chambers. Made it 5-1. That is a pretty good game here. 5-1. Pretty happy with the effort. And I have not been seeing that a whole lot for this season. However, we don't get to celebrate for very long because we are playing Edmonton today here. So Edmonton also struggling a little bit, 26, 29, and 6 on this season. We have not played Edmonton so far, so let's go ahead and see what they look like. So Shane Corson is hurt. He's not going to play. And then they have Chris Joseph. That's hurt. He may or may not play. And Scott Mellenby may or may not play as well. In net, they still have Bill Ranford in net. And Rick Tabaracci, Dave Manson, Sikora Witt, Joseph Smith, Woolley, Lavens on D. Not the best D. Definitely not a D that's, you know, mobile and able to move the puck like I like them or anything like that. Up front, they have Brent Gilchrist, Kirk Malby, Ton Morrow, Hessa Tikkanen, Josef Baranek, Dale Hunter, Darcy Tucker. Oh, that's a lot of... Oh, Todd Bertuzzi. Wow, that's a lot of dirty guys. And I don't mean players that don't shower. Kelly Buckberger, Randy Mickey, Scott Mellenby, Joe Murphy, Stephen Rice, and Scott. Oh, that group of forward must be a Mitch to play against. Oof. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and play in Edmonton and try to not get 7 injuries. Oh, we're going with Johan Edberg for that game, sending the Moose in, and they're gonna go with Rick Tabaracci. Oh, looks like Tabaracci is the starter, or at least looks like they split games. Yeah, it looks like that's about half the games they played. So it looks like they have a rotation thing going in Edmonton. And it's a 1-1 tie. You know what? This season has been so bad, I'll take it. Plus, it's on the road and everything. Sure, I'll take the 1-1 tie. Oh, we outshot them 41-29 here in Edmonton. Brent Gilchrist was the first star of the game. He had a goal. Valerie Bourré was the second star with a goal as well. And Dave Manson was the third star with an assist. So Oilers scored first in the first period. And then in the second period, we had Valerie Bourré tie the game from Craig Conroy. We were tied at 1 after 2, and of course nobody scored in the third period or in overtime, and that's how we ended up with a 1-1 tie. Good game for John Leclerc, still in Montreal. He had 4 goals and an assist against the Dallas Stars. Kirk Muller has a strong game. He had 4 assists against Dallas in that same game. And Jaromir Jagr extends with Pittsburgh. 4 years at $2.08 million per year. 26 years old Jaromir Jagr should be still pretty good until the end of that series, that regardless of if I win the cup or not. Okay, so a couple days off here, and then we're going to be playing in Vancouver against the Canucks. Oh, that's going to hurt Colorado. Joe Sakic is out for 5 months. Season over for Joe Sakic, one of my favorite players. Fractured coracoid shoulder. That happened against Ottawa. 5 months. Mario Lemieux extends his goal streak to 7 games with a goal and 2 assists against Chicago. Alright, 1 more day off. Teemu Selanne extends his goal streak to 6 games with a goal against the Carolina Hurricanes. Alright, and we are about to play in Vancouver against the Canucks. Canucks are doing decent. They are 28, 22, and 12. And we have not played them this season, so let's take a look at their lineup. Oh, Chad Kilger has a fractured skull. That, oh god, since the start of the season. Yeah, you're not coming back anytime soon. If you are coming back, and he's only 21. I don't think that there are career-ending injuries in Franchise Hockey Manager. I've been playing that game since the first iteration, and I cannot remember seeing a career-ending injury. If there are, they must be like really crazy rare. I know that there's some in the baseball game because I've seen it, but I have never seen a career-ending injury in Franchise Hockey Manager. If you guys have, feel free to let me know in the comments. I'm kind of curious to know if it can happen. I just like it's only anecdotal. I don't have any data to back it up, but I'm pretty sure that I have never seen that happen. Of course, I guess I could pull up the injury file from, my computer and look at it. But, yeah, you guys let me know if you've seen that. Oh, I guess we haven't looked at the rest of the team, huh? And so Cliff Running is hurt. He may or may not play. And Jan Vopat showed up, and he's not in good shape. So Roman Turek and John Van Beesbrook are the goaltenders in Vancouver. Jyrki Lume, Vopat, Bakula, Gerald Deduck, Doug Lidster, Carlis Krashtin, Andy. There's a couple decent defensemen in there for sure. Lume was a good defenseman. Deduck was okay. He was a decent player. Lidster was okay as well. Not a great player, but he was okay. Then up front we have Sean Antoski, Robert Cron, Bob Probert, Luke Robitaille, Vitaly Yakmanev, Mikey Peter Nedved, Pekka Peterson, Running, Chris Draper, Lyndon Mallet, Ward, and Dvorak. So there's a couple fighters here. A couple tough guys too. Got those Western Canadian teams like their big buddies. Alright, let's see if we can continue to go undefeated here in March. So we have Nikolai Abibolin in net, and John Van Beesbrook is going to be in net for Vancouver. And it's all good. If we do good, we're just raising the stock of our players we're trying to trade, right? So if they can do good, that'd be great. And we lost 1-0. So I mean, there's a lot more terrible losses than 1-0. I mean, it's still a loss, but, when you lose 1-0, you're kind of in the game the entire time. We were outshot 35-20 in that one, so Vancouver kind of dictated the play in that one. Trevor Linden was the first star of the game. He had an assist. Marc Bergevin was the second star, no points, obviously. And Luc Robitaille was the third star with a goal. So only goal of the game was scored in the first period. And then after that, it was a whole lot of nothing. And thus, we move on. Alright, so Brett Harkins is available on waivers. So is Brent Fiddick, and I cannot claim anybody anyway. Pavel Bure extends his goal streak to 5 games with a goal and an assist against the Red Wings. Martin Straka extends his assist streak to 8 games with an assist against Philadelphia. Oh, Peter Bundra is suspended. He's going to miss 2 games. That's not the type of player you expect to see suspended. Peter Bundra wasn't exactly known for, being a big, rugged forward or anything like that. Martin Straka's assist streak ended at 8 games. He did get 2 goals against Philadelphia, but didn't get any assists. So that streak, his point streak continues, but his assist streak is over. Alright, so this game is probably going to be kind of tough. We are about to play in Colorado against the Avalanche. They are 36-21-8. They are really good. Who do they have in net? Stefan Fizen, Podomatsky. Oh, they do have a couple of injuries. Not sure why they're not putting Joe Sakic on injured reserve. It is what it is. Alright, can we win in Colorado against the Avalanche? I say sure we can. Now, are we going to? That's a different story. So we're going to go with Abibulin in net. They are not taking us too seriously, so they're sending Podomatsky, whom I've never heard of. And he's going to be in net. And... oh, we won 4-1. Pretty good game here in Colorado. Maybe a little unexpected even. And we even dictated the play. We outshot Colorado 36-30. Alexander Mogilny was the first star of the game with a goal and an assist. Robert Zvela was the second star with a goal. And Marc Bergevin was the third star with 2 assists. Alright, so Alexander Mogilny opened up the scoring in the first. That was his 25th of the season on the power play from Mikael Nylander and Marc Bergevin. So 1-0 Tampa Bay here after 1. Then in the second period, Steve Richin scored from Alexander Mogilny. Then Robert Zvela scored his 10th from Sergei Bridin and Mike Greer. And then Chris Simon scored for Colorado. And it was 3-1 Tampa Bay here after 2. We added 1 more goal in the third. Brian Rafalski scored from Marc Bergevin and Ryan Smith. 4-1 Tampa Bay, the victory. Awesome. Uh-oh, there's news there. Who did we lose to a gruesome injury? Teppo Numminen. He's day-to-day, so that's not too terrible, I guess. Yeah, he's day-to-day, out for around 5 days. Alright, not the end of the world. Mike Greer improves at left wing. Alright, that's good. Alright, so let's take a look here. Yeah, I have Mironov that can slide in, so not a big deal. Alright. And now we're going back home, and we are going to be hosting the Edmonton Oilers, whom we just played a couple games ago. Alright. And so no news, and now Edmonton is in town. Of course, we tied them 1-1 last time we played them. We already know that. The Oilers are now 26-31-7. Rick Tabaracci is going to be in net for them again, and we are going to go with Nikolai Abibulin again. Come on, guys. And it's another tie, so we are unable to figure out who's the best between Tampa Bay and Edmonton this year because both games ended up in a tie. Oh god, and we tied them in preseason too. And our records, well, they are a little bit better than us, but wow, that's crazy. So a 4-4 tie against the Edmonton Oilers. This time we had the upper hand in shots, 45-32. Robert Zveta was the first star of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Todd Bertuzzi was the second star with a goal and an assist. And Steve Richin was the third star with an assist. So we had 15,334 people back in the stands for our first game back after a while on the road. All right, so Edmonton scored first in the first period. It was 1-0 Edmonton after 1. Then in the second period, Ryan Smith scored from Mark Bergeron and Robert Zvela. Then Mikael Nylander on the power play from Bill Guerin. And then Brian Rafalski scored his fifth from Steve Richin and Mikael Anderson. 3-1 Tampa Bay after 2. Then we scored another goal. It was Robert Zvela from Alexander McGinley and Per Gustafsson. And then it looked like we were going to win that game. But the Oilers scored 3 times before the end of the period. Actually, it was 3 goals in 4 minutes and 8 seconds. And 3 goals in 4 minutes and 8 seconds. The game was tied. Obviously, nobody scored. And we tied 4-4. Oh, dear God. Vili Peltonen had a really, really, really shitty game. That was not good. Oh, it didn't help that he got hurt, I guess, huh? Alright, so he has a day-to-day injury, so what do we do with that now? So you cannot play with it. It's day-to-day. I have Greer and Britton that can play, so you are going to just stay on the lineup. Oh, that's going to hurt Pittsburgh. Francis is out for 4 months, so Ron Francis with a broken kneecap. Mario Lemieux has recorded 1,800 points in his career with a 4 goals performance against Calgary. Mario Lemieux is now 32 years old, 5-star player, 1,800 points in his career. That's pretty crazy. Memorable night for Jaromir Jagr. In that same game, he had 4 assists. And, you know, we saw the news that Lemieux, yeah, so we know he has 4 goals. All right, so we have a couple of days off, and then we're going to host the Chicago Blackhawks. Oh, former Tampa Bay Lightning Rob Zamuner is suspended. He's going to miss 9 games. That's a lot. Oh, and Yevgeny Nemesnikov in Buffalo is also suspended. He's going to miss 3 games. Good game for Vyacheslav Kozlov. He had a hat-trick for the Red Wings against Chicago. And Petar Bondra is back in the lineup after serving his suspension. Okay. So Chicago is in town. Oh, that's tomorrow. Getting ahead of myself here. Getting ready to go play a team that's not even there. Well, I guess we could fill the net. Probably could use that. Alright, so Brian Bradley is back, or he is starting to feel better and should be back soon. And Teppo Numminen is also starting to feel better, so that's all good news. Alright, so Chicago is now 27, 28, and 9. They are in town, and we had a 1-1 tie against them earlier this season. Right, so Ed Belfour is in net for Chicago, and we are going with Nikolai Abibulin again. And we won 4-1. Wow, we're like waking up. So maybe that this coach is better. It could be that it is the case. Anyway, that's a 4-1 victory here at home against the Blackhawks. Chicago did outshoot us 31-29, so that's pretty even. Wow. Most of the stats are pretty even. That was a very even game, except for the goals. So Sean Chambers was the first of the game. He had an assist. Boris Smirnov was the second star with an assist as well. And Valery Bourré was the third star with an assist as well. 16,132 people in attendance for the game. So German Titov opened up the scoring in the first period from Brian Rafalski and Ryan Smith. And then Steve Ruchin scored his 10th from Valery Bourré and Sean Chambers. It was 2-0 Tampa Bay after 1. Then in the second period, Bobby Olik scored his 10th as well from Boris Mironov, made it 3-0 Tampa Bay. Then we had a fight between Bill Guerin and Brian Marchment. Then in the third period, Chicago scored, made it 3-1, and then Mikael Nylander scored in an empty net from Robert Zvela and Mark Bergevin, and it was a 4-1 victory. And then that Josef Dano guy, whom I'm not sure who he is, has 23 goals in the NHL. That's almost as many as Alexander Mogilny. Not bad for somebody that I'm not sure who he is. A strong game for Pavel Bure. He had a hat-trick against Colorado. Prolific passing night for Alexei Zitnik in that same game. He had 4 assists. Grant Fuhr played in his 800th game in his career. And he won 3-1, so that's a victory for him. So 800 games for Grant Fuhr, 35 years old, and he is a 2.5-star player, or goaltender. Brian Bradley is almost recovered, and so is Teppo Numinen. Good and good. Alright, so we have a day off. Andrei Bashkirov is on waivers. Oh, Ulf Samuelsson did something that he's really good at. He got suspended, and he's going to miss 2 games. I'm saying that like that. I'm actually not sure how often Ulf Samuelsson got suspended. I know he was kind of a dirty player, so pretty much ended Cam Neely's career. But yeah. Teppo Numinen is ready to go. That's good. Vili Peltonen ready for full contact, making progress. Okay, so Numinen is not, or Bradley is right on the verge of coming back. And we are about to play Boston. In Boston, the Bruins are 31-29-5. That's good for 8 in the East. And we are actually 2-1 against Boston this season. So we are managing to have a winning record against a team in our division, or conference rather. That's pretty impressive when, you know, you're 14 games under 500. All right. Nikolai Abibulin is going to be in net for us, and Andy Moog is going to be the goaltender for Boston. And we lost that one fair and square. We lost 4-1. We were outshot 42-30. Josef Stumpel was the first of the game. He had a goal and an assist. Ted Donato was the second star with a goal and an assist. And John Clem was the third star with an assist. There was a fight in the first period between Ken Sutton and Boris Mironov. Then in the second period, Boston scored first. Then Bobby Olik tied the game from Ryan Smith. But then Boston took the lead again. It was 2-1 Boston after 2. And then they added 2 more goals in the third period. And there was another fight between Adam Denmarsh and Bill Guerin. And that was pretty much it. And Maxim Sushinsky got hurt in that game. And that's another one of those day-to-day injuries that he cannot play with. That's okay. I have one more spare, so we don't have to put anybody on injured reserve or anything like that. Alright, in 2 days we are going to be hosting the Vancouver Canucks. Oh, my favorite player, the one who only has consonants in his last name and that I have no idea how to pronounce it. Vladimir Volk. That's how I decide to pronounce it. Sounds pretty tough. Vladimir Volk. Well, anyway, he's on waivers. Brian Bradley on the brink of returning, not quite yet, I guess, and Vili Peltonen back sooner rather than later. Again, not quite in the lineup. Alright, are they gonna be back for today's game? Alright, so Namestnikov is back from his suspension in Buffalo, so back in the lineup over there. Mike Selinger is suspended in Detroit. He's going to miss 2 games. And again, Peltonen kinda back, but not quite. Oh, Boris Mironov got hurt too. Do I need to do anything? No. So Rafalski's gonna play. Alright. Alright, so we're about to play Vancouver. Canucks are now 30-24-14. They beat us at the start, near the start of this video. They beat us 1-0. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can enact vengeance here at home. They're going to send Roman Turek in net for that one. I'm going to go with Nikolai Bibulin. And it is a 1-1 tie. So again, we are unable to find a victor here. Oh, we did outshoot Vancouver 30-25 in that one. Mikael Nylander was the first star of the game. He had an assist. Sean Antoski was the second star with an assist as well. And German Titov was the third star with our goal. We had 15,350 people in attendance for the game. So German Titov opened up the scoring in the first from Mikael Nylander. It was 1-0 Tampa Bay at that point. And then Vancouver tied the game in the second period. And that's pretty much it. A lot of penalties. But nobody else scored. So both power plays sucked is what that means. Right, Joe Micheletti looks to save his job. So he's the coach in Anaheim. Anaheim is worse than us by a mile. They are terrible at 14-50-3. They are looking to get rid of him as the coach. Oh, Brian Bradley is coming back, and the trade deadline is nearing. All right. Let's see here. Let's get Bradley back in. I guess I'm going to send Greer down. So that takes care of that. And now the trade deadline is nearing. So I think that would be a pretty good time for me to pause the video. Start looking at deals that I can make. Deals that I will make and regret later. Deals that I will make and be happy with them later. And probably eat the food because it should be here soon. And then I'm going to come back, and for you, when you're watching that, it's going to be like 1 second, not even, of a pause. For me, it could be an eternity over here. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pause this. I'll be right back after I'm done doing my shopping and stuffing my face. Alright, folks, so I didn't eat yet. It's still going to take a little bit for the food to get here, but I did pull a pretty big trade. I worked overtime to make this work for all of your viewing pleasure. And instead of doing... So initially I kind of wanted to do a lot of separate trades. Instead, I packaged 3 guys that I was going to move on from and sent them packing to Pittsburgh. And I had to take a player that I didn't really want for it to work. But the other 2 I'm pretty happy to get. So hopefully that's going to help me with the future. Because as we know, I think my goaltending is okay with Abibulin. For the most part, he's okay. And my D is pretty okay, even though I just shipped Zvela away. So I got a few forwards. And hopefully that's going to work. So here's the trade. So I sent Robert Zvela, Bobby Elick, and Mike Greer to Pittsburgh for Marcus Naslund, Martin Straka, and Rick Tocchet. Obviously, Rick Tocchet is a guy that's a little bit of the odd man out. I mean, I like Rick Tocchet as a player. I thought he was kind of a power forward and everything, but he's only a 1-star player now, so he doesn't have a whole lot to offer me. But Straka and Marcus Naslund definitely have some upside, and especially Straka should be able to play center. So I'm hoping that the coach puts him at center to help us out at that position there. So of course, his point production is probably going to go down. I doubt that he's going to continue to be on a more than a point per game pace because he's not going to be playing with Lemieux and Jagger and Francis and Larry Murphy and all of that stuff anymore. But still, it should be pretty good. And then Marcus Naslund, I am hoping that he can develop a little bit more. He should be right on the brink of developing, I'm guessing. So yeah, I took a flyer on him. I was a big Marcus Naslund fan when he was playing in the NHL. I thought he was a pretty strong player. So hopefully he can do something for us here. So that's the trade. So Robert Zveda's gone. He's been pretty good for us, but he was kind of slowing down and everything. I'm sure he's going to do great in Pittsburgh, playing with all of the big names there. Bobby Olick, it never clicked for him with us. He has decent ratings and everything, but it just never worked out. And then Mike Greer, I didn't necessarily want to part with him in that trade, but I kind of had to make the trade work to get both Naslund and Straka. So there you go. That is the trade. Oh, I don't think I have figured out who I am sending down with all of that stuff. I just have to send one guy down. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay. Okay, so I don't really care for Talkit. Oh, and I immediately Strako's contract was expiring, so I immediately offered him a contract extension. Obviously, I'm not bringing Talkit back. Actually, I'm putting him on the waivers. So if he could if he could get claimed, that would be even better. All right, and then I think I'm gonna send down Valerie Bury because he's one of the very few guys that do not have to clear waivers. Because I need to recall a defenseman now that I traded Zvela. I'm one short since Mironov is hurt. So let's go here. And let's get poor Adrian Aucoin up that had to clear waivers. Or do I want Jovanovski? Let's get Aucoin up for now. All right, so with that big trade in behind us now, I can't. Alright, so Straka's gonna get off that list, and the rest doesn't have a whole lot of value. And Craig Conroy apparently has a no trade clause. I tried to put him in the trade, and he used his no trade clause, and I was like, "Screw you, Craig Conroy! I gave you a chance, and that's how you repay me. I hate you." Well, I don't really hate him, but anyway, so we have a couple of days off, and then we're going to be hosting the Florida Panthers with our retooled team. Ken Daneko is suspended in Anaheim. He's going to miss 4 games. Big game from Matt Sundin. He had a hat trick against the Phoenix Coyotes. Maxim Sushinsky should be back from injury soon. Vili Peltonen is back from injury. Martin Straka signed his contract. Thank you. Alright, and I need to give numbers. Alright, so Marcus Naslund, I cannot give you your number 19. I'm going to give you 16, and hopefully you're not going to be too upset at me. Ah, cool. You're a cool guy. You always look like you were a nice guy. Straka would like 82. He can have it. And Adrian Aucoin would like number 33, but I cannot give that to you. So you're going to get number 5, and you're going to be happy with it. Yes, you are. Good boy. All right. So yeah, the 2 players that I got are not that old. so 25 and 24. So I'm hoping that that was the type of deal I was looking to make. It's getting late in the challenge, so it's not really the time to trade for an 18-year-old that may or may not develop in 4 years. I needed guys that were like right on the verge, like right around that age. So I got pretty much what I wanted out of trading my players. So I was pretty happy with that. Eric Weinrich is suspended. He's going to miss one game playing in Carolina. And Sushinsky should be back soon. All right, playing the Panthers. Panthers are 33, 25, and 9. That's good for 5th in the East. We are 0-1 and 2 against the Florida Panthers. We have not been able to beat them this season. So let's see what the lines are going to be now. So Bradley with Mikael Anderson and McGillney. Ruchin with Straka and Guerin. Nylander with Peltonen and Ryan Smith, Craig Conroy with Marcus Naslund and German Sedov. Marcus Naslund is only a star and a half right now, so I guess I don't mind him being on the third line, but you can see he's already a 13 sniper, so that's pretty decent actually. That's not bad. Then on D we have Bergeron with Numinen, Chambers with Rafalski, and Gustafsson with Aucoin. Wow, I don't like that deal that much anymore now that I look at it. Well, I guess I'm a little bit temperamental or something. But I do have Jovanovski coming, so we're getting there. All right, so Florida's going to send Blaine Laker in net, and we are going to have Nikolai Bibulin. And it's a 2-2 tie, still unable to beat the Florida Panthers. Lots of ties this month. I guess it's better than losing. Shots were tied as well, 24-24. Bill Guerin was the first star of the game. He had an assist. Topatig was the second star with a goal. And Mikael Nylander was the third star with a goal as well. 16,311 people in attendance for the game. Florida scored first in the first period. And then Craig Conroy scored his 5th from Marcus Naslund and Brian Rafalski. It was tied at 1 after 1. So Marcus Naslund already getting on the board for us. Then Florida scored in the second period, took a 2-1 lead. And then in the third period, Mikael Nylander scored his 10th from Bill Guerin and Martin Straka. So Straka also got a point. And it was tied at 2. So both of my acquisitions getting on the board. That's good. All right. But nobody would score in overtime, so we lost. We tied 2-2. All right. Al Iafrati is on waivers, and so is Corey Cross. Sillinger's suspension ends. So he is back in the lineup here in Detroit. Suspension over for Ulf Samuelsson with the Pens. And Maxim Sushinsky is fully healthy now. Alright, so we have 3 days, and then we're going to be playing the Montreal Canadiens. Oh, Teemu Selanne is hurt for a long 2 weeks after a cervical hyperextension injury happened against the Sharks. So 2 weeks is not the end of the world. Still going to suck for Phoenix. Alright, so Weinrich is back from suspension. And Boris Mironov is feeling better. And this is a trade deadline. Today is the last day to make trades. Are we going to see trades? We are not seeing a whole lot of computer-to-computer trades anymore. And we didn't see any at this trade deadline either. Alright, so Boris Mironov almost ready to come back. Alright, so we are hosting the Montreal Canadiens. They are 36, 26, and 7. That's good for 4th in the East. We are 1-1 against Montreal this season. Let's see if our new players can get that done today. Alright, so Montreal is going to go with Sergei Fadeev in net, and we are going to go with Nikolai Bibulin. And we won 3-2. There you go. Take that, Abs fans. With my shiny new players, I've beat ya. Although you did beat my ass in the shots department, 44-22. You completely doubled me. Martin Straka first start of the game with a goal and an assist. Patrice Brisebois was the second star with a goal, and Nikolai Abibulin was the third star with 42 saves. 15,888 people wish that they hated the Montreal Canadiens as much as me so that they could enjoy that victory as much as I just did. Maybe they did. I mean, I don't know those people, so maybe they really have a profound hatred for Montreal. It's always possible. Alright, so Bill Guerin opened up the scoring in the first period from Teppo Numminen and Martin Straka. 1-0 Tampa Bay at that point. Montreal tied the game till before the end of the period, so it was tied at 1 after 1. Then in the second period, Montreal took the lead 2-1, but then Martin Straka scored on the power play from Maxim Sushinsky, tied the game at 2. We went into the third period, and Alexander Mogilny scored on the power play from Brian Rafalski, and it was a 3-2 victory for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Oh yeah. Boris Mironov is ready to go, so that's good. More options for the coach, whose name I forgot. I don't even remember who it is that I hired. I'm a terrible boss. You know, that's all we ask, right? You go to work and you want for your boss to be personable, at least know your name, know who you are, things that you like or whatnot. And here I am. I don't even know the name of my head coach. I'm a terrible person. Okay, so where are we? Paul York. Alright, so we are in St. Louis now to play against the Blues. Blues are 25, 37, and 8, so it's a little difficult for them right now. We are 0-1 against St. Louis. We lost 1-0 at home against them earlier this season. Two games in 2 nights, and we travel, so that one might be a little difficult. I guess we'll see. And we're sending the Moose in net. Johannenberg, Curtis Joseph is going to be in net for the Blues. Ha! We won 4-3. There you go. Alright, so we outshot St. Louis 32-25. Vili Peltonen was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. 2 Barnes was the second star with an assist. And Brian Bradley was the third star with a goal and an assist. Alright, so St. Louis scored the first goal in the first period. So they were up 1-0 after 1. Then in the second period, Vili Peltonen scored from Mikael Anderson and Marcus Naslund, tied at 1 after 2. Then in the third period, Ryan Smith scored from Brian Bradley and Brian Rafalski. Then Brian Bradley from Steve Richin and Vili Peltonen. And then Martin Straka scored his 20th for Per Gustafsson and Vili Peltonen. It was 4-1 at that point. The Blues did score 2 goals to come close at 4-3 with 33 seconds left in the game, but they couldn't tie, and we won this game 4-3. And Bill Guerin and Teppo Numminen both got hurt in this game. That sounds about right. Okay, so let's move on here and see. Oh, Bill Guerin is out for 4 weeks. Okay. Bill Guerin out for 4 weeks, so I think that's pretty much the end of his season. Numminen is hurt, but he's only day-to-day. Brian Bradley got his 600th point of his career against St. Louis with a goal and an assist. So Brian Bradley is 33 years old, and he's still a 3-star player. Oh, he gained an alpha star. He was at 2.5 earlier. That's good. Josef Stampel is not going to get suspended here in Boston. Ken Daneyko is back from suspension in Anaheim, and Paul Coffey played in his 1,250th game in his career. Celebrated that with a goal. And that was against the Los Angeles. I got confused because Paul Coffey now plays for the Sharks, and that was against LA, so I thought that, yeah. Alright, so Paul Coffey is 36, so a 3-star player. Also a player that I like to watch. He was pretty good. Oh yeah, I have to take care of Bill Guerin. Right, so Numminen I don't have to worry about. It's only day-to-day. And Bill Guerin, you are going to the injured reserve, and we are going to recall probably Valerie Bourré or Rick Tocchet. Valerie Bourré. Yeah, let's get Bourré up. Okay. And now we're going to go ahead and play in Montreal. So Montreal is 37, 27, and 7. They are good for 4th in the East. Of course, we are now 2-1 against Montreal because we just beat them, and that made me ridiculously happy. All right. Hopefully we can beat them without Bill Guerin. Right, so, Peltonen on the first line. Okay. Right, let's see what happens here. We are going with Nikolai Abibulin. They are going to send Sergei Fedeyev again. It looks so pretty to my eyes. We won 6-2. Oh, yeah. Montreal outshot us again, though. So Abibulin has been pretty strong against Montreal and really frustrated them. So we were outshot 31-27, but sometimes you have to accept the end result, and I totally accept it. Martin Straka was the first star of the game. He had a goal and 2 assists. Mikael Anderson was the second star of the game with 2 assists. And Boris Mironov was the third star with an assist. All right, so we scored 4 goals in the first period. Vili Peltonen scored from Mikael Anderson and Brian Bradley. Then Martin Straka scored on the power play from Brian Rafalski. Steve Richin from German Titov and Mikael Anderson. And then Adrian Aucoin scored his first from Per Gustafsson and Martin Straka. It was 4-0 Tampa Bay after 1. Then in the second period, Montreal scored, but then Steve Richin scored again from Martin Straka and Boris Mironov. It was 5-1 Tampa Bay after 2. Then in the third period, Markus Naslund scored his 20th from Mikael Nylander and Vili Peltonen. Made it 6-1. Then Montreal scored a goal, made it 6-2 here. But it was way not enough. And we won 6-2. Woohoo! Oh, and we have another injury. Alexander McGillney will take 5 days to recover from a coccyx bruise. Yeah, that can hurt. I really hurt my coccyx when I was in my first year of high school, and yeah, it took me like a couple weeks to like sit right and everything. No further action needed for Colorado's Steve Duchesne, not suspended. Good night for Mario Lemieux. He had a hat trick against the Rangers. And Teppo Numminen might be back soon. Alright, so what does that look like for us here with McGillney? Alright, so McGillney can't play, so somebody else will. Alright, I guess. And we are at the last game of the month, so I did say that I didn't think I was going to continue with the 2D games, and I don't think I am going to. If you absolutely like really want for me to do it, I guess I will. Just let me know in the comments, but I am not expecting much pushback on that. Alright, so big game for Andrew Castles with Carolina. He had 3 goals and 2 assists. That's a pretty good game indeed against the Flyers. Rob Zamuner is back from his super long suspension. Kevin Stevens keeps fans on their feet all night with a hat-trick against the Suns. Teppo Numminen on the verge of returning. That's good. And Sylvain Lefebvre is in custody battle over his beloved pet. Alright, last game of the month at Madison Square Garden against the really powerful New York Rangers. They are 44-19-10. That's good for second in the East. And we are 0-4-1 against the Rangers this year. And I am going to go ahead and send that. And somebody knocked on the door. That means the food is here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the game. And then I'm going to pause and I'm going to come back and we'll look at standings and whatnot. Except this time I'm going to have a full belly, which is not a bad thing. All right, so Abibulin in net for us and Mike Richter in net for the Rangers. We lost that one 5-2. The Rangers are really good, so I kind of was expected that. Right, so Rangers outshot us 42-31. Brian Leetch was the first star of the game. He had 4 assists. Sergei Zubov was the second star with 3 assists, and Mark Macy was the third star with 2 goals and an assist. So yeah, we got torn apart by some of their best players for sure. Right, we did score first. Craig Conroy scored on the power play from Mark Bergevin and Brian Bradley. It was 1-0, but then Rangers scored twice, and it was 2-1 for the Rangers here after 1. Then in the second period, the Rangers added a goal. It was 3-1. And then at the start of the third period, Teppo Numminen scored from Per Gustafsson. We were within 1. It looked pretty good, but then we allowed 2 more goals, and just forget it. We lost 5-2. Memorable game for Brian Leetch. As we say, he had 4 assists. March scouting. Alright. Oh, so now we only have a weakness at right wing, apparently. Yeah, there's not a whole lot there. I am not going to get out of my way to sign one of those guys. And Teppo Numminen is recovered. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pause it again. So sorry about that. I'm going to go ahead and eat, and then I will be right back. We'll look at the rest of the stuff here. And once again, we are back. Alright, so we are on March 31st. So I'm going to click one more time on the continue button. Steve Thomas got to 600 points in his career. He got a goal against Washington. Steve Thomas is 34 and he is a 2-star player. Players of the month were Mario Lemieux and Dominik Hasek. Yeah, 2 players that should be familiar with the honor. Alrighty. Right, so I'm going to go ahead and save already, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to do it again later out of habit, but there you go. Right, so we climbed up a little bit, so look at us. We are now 10th in the East instead of 11th, so we caught up to the Sens. We had a pretty good month, actually, and it looks like though Naslund and Straka are going to be performing for us. At least so far, they've been putting up points and everything, so I think it was a decent trade. We managed to trade players that weren't really working out for us anymore, and got some players that are going to be getting points, so I think that's a win. Yeah, let's take a look in the West here. Right, so in the West, it's still Detroit, Colorado, Toronto is up there. Look at them. Vancouver, San Jose, Phoenix, Chicago, and Dallas. Then the Oilers are right there, and then it kind of cuts off a little bit. And Anaheim is still the worst team in the league with 37 points this season. Okay, alright, so let's look at our points. Alright, so our best player is Martin Straka, of course. Most of his 83 points were obtained with Pittsburgh, so it doesn't really count. So technically our best player would be Alexander McGillney with 43 points in 70 games. That's not good enough. That's why I went out and got some offensive players so that I can score some more goals. So I have decent hopes for next season, I have to be honest. Unless I get like a lot of crazy injuries or something like that, I think that I think we might look not too bad. In the entire league, Mario Lemieux, 59 goals. He is atop of the league by a wide margin, 17 more than Pavel Bure-Bretel and John Leclerc, who all have 42. Best passer is Wayne Gretzky with 65 assists. Look at that. Look at who's on in number 2. It's one of our players. It's Martin Straka. Yeah, again. He did it all with Pittsburgh. And then Lemieux has 116 points, so he's the best scorer. Okay. Oh, John Leclerc has 3 short-handed goals. John Leclerc was not exactly a penalty killer in real life there, so I'm not sure that I can really trust that stat there. Right. Yeah, Abby Boudin is having a decent season. All things considered, he's doing decently for sure. Not not the top goaltender, but definitely doing good. Like his save percentage is like 10th at 926. That's good. His goal save above average is 10th as well. So yeah, he's in the upper tier of the league. That's pretty good. But anyway, oh, see, I did say that I was going to save again, and I'm about to do it. Look at me. There you go. All right, folks, so that's pretty much it for today. So next time out, we're going to do April and the playoffs, which we are not going to be a part of. I mean, we're not mathematically eliminated, but the Islanders would have to have a crazy bad month of April. Well, we do play them 3 times, so who knows, right? But anyway, so no playoffs for us this season, and, well, that's pretty much it. So, as usual, I do want to thank you for tuning in, and if you've liked the video, and that you would like to help support me and my channel, please feel free to like, subscribe, share, comment, all of that good stuff. And until I roll this game again, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.